Dr. Logan, ever since that boat sank in February, there's been some weird things going on in this lake. We've been hearing about dogs getting sick, geese getting swallowed up by the lake, and we're not really sure what's going on, but we got to figure this out.
Yeah, the temperature is really warm in here, especially for like the month that it is.
How
And
warm is it?
It's at 14 degrees Celsius
14 degrees Celsius.
with a really high conductation. Like all the minerals are dissolving really, like not well.
How high is it?
1,232.
Oh wow, that's about 1,000 higher than it should be. We should collect some samples, I think. Here.
Where should I collect the samples from?
There's some right here.
Oh wow, look at that algae right here. Let's take that back to the lab and incubate it and do some tests.
Already morphing before our eyes.
All right, cool.
Time to go check on the phosphorus, uranium, and algae. Where did it go?
What happened to Nick? I haven't seen any updates in
I
a
don't
while.
know. He went missing. He went to the freezer last I saw.
Huh, well let's go check. Let's take a look.
What is that?
No!
What do you specifically research?
I study lakes and how they're impacted by climate change. So things like how warming temperatures impact the temperature of lakes, and then how that in turn impacts the chemistry and biology of lakes. And specifically, I look at lakes in the Rocky Mountains up here, and like lakes that have a lot of ice cover and only have a short window of time in the summer where they're ice-free.
How does the researching process work?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a lot of different parts of the research process. So if we kind of start like way in the beginning, the first part is just thinking of an idea and a hypothesis that you want to test. And so, doing a lot of reading and thinking and listening to other people who are smarter than me, and also going out in nature and asking questions about, oh, why is this lake super green and that one's really blue? What leads to those differences? And then from there, once we have a hypothesis, we have to decide how to design a field experiment or a lab experiment to figure out, like, how do we actually test this hypothesis? And then we go collect data and run a bunch of experiments and analyses. And then the last kind of pieces are actually doing the data analysis, so doing a lot of statistics and making cool graphs. And then the last part, which is also super important, is writing it all up. And so writing up a paper for a scientific journal for other people to read, and kind of putting it into a broader context to tell other people, like, what did we find, and then why does this matter?
How does the algae help with all the animals in the lakes and everything?
Yeah, I think of algae as kind of the building blocks of the aquatic food web. And so they're sort of like the grass of grasslands and the trees of forests. So they provide a lot of energy that they fix from the sun, from solar radiation. They take up nutrients from the water, and then they grow and they proliferate, and basically other little critters will go in and eat it and get their energy. So things like bugs will graze on the algae off of rocks and off the bottom of lakes or floating in the water column. They'll get bigger. They'll eventually get eaten by bigger bugs or by fish. And so it kind of keeps cascading up through the food web.